Good day and welcome again to another conversation here on JewishSacredAging.com. We are very, very happy that you're joining us, and we'd like to introduce you to today's guest, David Zinner, the Executive Director and Founder of Kavod v'Nichum. Welcome, David. Welcome to JewishSacredAging.com and our conversations. I'd like to thank you for coming up from Columbia, Maryland, to be with us today. Kavod v'Nichum is a training institute. You talk about working with communities, colleagues, congregations, and what's your major focus of this program?
Thank you, Rabbi. Our Kavod v'Nichum means honor and comfort, and we provide education and resources for communities and synagogues that want to build their network within their synagogue or community to educate people about traditions, death practices, funerals, burials, everything on that whole continuum from serious illness to grief and mourning.
So I want to focus on one thing real fast, because I know you've been involved for years in training communities, congregations on Chevra Kadisha. Is that correct?
That's right.
So just in case there's somebody who maybe was at a Phillies game and didn't understand what the Chevra Kadisha is, what is a Chevra Kadisha and how does it work?
A Chevra Kadisha is a group of people within a community that provides a traditional ritual for a person who has died. Mm-hmm. But it's much more than what some folks think about it as just the washing and the dressing. It's really a combination of a number of different things. One is the community coming together and providing this ritual for the person who died, and also to provide some comfort to the family, knowing that that person is being taken care of by their community. And the group also comes together with a kavanah, an intention of providing a sacred ritual. And this ritual is both a cleaning ritual as well as a sort of spiritual purification.
This takes place prior to the actual funeral.
That's right, and often done in the funeral home. In the old days, maybe done at a person's home or at a cemetery. The ritual is very simple, but it's also very profound, and often has a very interesting impact on the people who do the work, because we don't really come in contact with dead bodies very often, and when you do in this sort of sacred way, then it changes you as an individual. It changes your outlook on life. It helps you get in touch with the fragility of life and also with the importance of living every moment, because you now have a much better understanding, a real intimate knowledge of what death is.
So obviously you're doing this program around the country. You've been doing it for several years. There obviously is an interest, a growing interest on the part of, let's say, the non-Orthodox community in training individuals to be with the body before the actual funeral. So why this resurgence of interest in this?
Well, that's a good question. You know, there is this added interest of folks in the whole spiritual side of Judaism getting back in touch with the emotional and the profound impact that prayer can have when it interacts with a meaningful physical activity. So that's one aspect of it. There are other aspects too. It's sort of a piece of Judaism that we've lost. We want to sort of take back that piece of Judaism and bring it within the synagogue community. We do all of our other life cycle rituals connected to the congregation, such as bar and bat mitzvah and wedding and things like that. Death is another one of those life cycle rituals that needs to be part of the fabric of synagogue life.
So suppose I'm a rabbi, I want to do something like this. I think this is really an interesting way of educating and involving people out of caring community or bereavement support, etc. How do I engage this? How do I get in touch with you? How do I set this up?
So you could go to our website, jewish-funerals.org, where we have hundreds of pages about what the Chevra Kadisha does and focus on different topics that would be helpful for rabbis or other clergy or interested in congregants to learn about. And you can call us or write us an email. All of our contact information is on our website.
So the website again, real fast, is
Jewish-funerals.org.
Okay.
And we love to talk to people about this and give them ideas on what they can do. We have sample sermons for rabbis. We have classes that we do, introductory classes. We do drashes on Shabbat. We can do all-day trainings. We are there to try and pick up where the community is and bring their knowledge and their actions to a different level.
So you tailor this to each individual community?
We can.
Do you personally, you David Zinner, go to a community and organize and train, or is there a central training once a year?
Well, there's both, actually. So we will go to communities and we'll do a training specifically for a synagogue, or we might suggest that 3 or 4 synagogues get together and do a training. Sometimes there are communities that organize for a whole community. And then once a year, we have a Chevra Kadisha and Jewish Cemetery Conference where we bring people together from all over the U.S. and Canada, and we do 2 days of workshops and trainings. Very intensive.
So that convention, once a year, and it's training, it's education, and how many people show up? Or
we typically get between 100 and 150 people. We have typically 4 tracks. We'll often do a track on Tahara and a separate track on Chevra Kadisha, and another track on chaplaincy, and another track on cemetery issues. And people can cross back and forth between the tracks, and we bring in experts. We'll do text study, we'll do processing emotions, we'll do Tahara demo. We cover a very wide range of everything along that continuum from Bikur Cholim to grief and mourning.
And so if I go to this convention, is there sort of like a certification program or?
Not yet, maybe someday. Right now, what you get is a lot of knowledge and a lot of resources and a lot of contacts, which we hope you'll bring back to your community, and hopefully either you help train them or bring us in to provide education and training. And what we want is for each community to really adapt the information to their own needs. Some communities will start out by working on developing Tahara teams, or some other communities may start out with doing Shmirah, the ritual guarding of the body after the person dies. And others will work on Shiva and enhancing their Shiva program, or maybe Bikur Cholim. So different communities start in different places.
So Kavod v'Nechum, you create programs for congregations and communities to try to alert them, to train them, to raise awareness around this whole Chevra Kadisha, those moments that pass from the time a person dies to right before the actual funeral service itself, right?
We don't stop at the funeral.
Right.
We're very comfortable helping train and provide resources for people about what to do at the funeral, what to do at the burial, what to do with providing meals of comfort, Shiva services, grief and mourning, and as well as at the other end where we try to do education, classes for people before there's a death, how to plan your funeral, how to plan a burial, working with your cemetery, working with your funeral home.
And if somebody wants, again, real fast before we have to end this section, somebody wants to get a hold of you, this is something that a colleague or a community would really like to explore, again, very nicely, how do they get in touch with you?
They can go to our website, jewish-funerals.org, write us an email, info@, same address, jewish-funerals.org, and we'll be glad to be in touch with them and help them out.
Thank you very much, David Zinner, the Executive Director and Founder of Kavod v'Nechum. Thank you for joining us on this conversation on JewishSacredAging.com.